Hey guys, on this episode I want to give you some tips about setting unachievable or over-exaggerated weight loss goals or workout goals to achieve better results in your life. So first off, let's just jump into my body update. So I haven't done one of these in a while. I'm not sure exactly. I think it's probably been about 8 weeks, about 2 months. And as you can see here, so I don't lose weight very quickly. It's actually exceptionally bad. My body is, I like to think the other way. I have very strong survival genes. My body will hold on to every little last piece of fat, but you can see now I'm losing a lot of fat on my back, on the sides, on my pecs, and it's actually starting to come off my stomach as well. I've also put on a good amount of muscle for that reason. There's no point putting my weight on here because my weight has just gone down and gone back up. It really actually isn't changing that much despite I'm putting on a lot of muscle. Okay, so for some tips about setting goals and unachievable goals, I find it's so helpful to set goals that are not realistic. So say you weigh 240 pounds and you say, okay, this next month I'm going to lose 20 pounds. Now that's not really realistic because you should be losing maybe 1 to 2 pounds per week, which would be a maximum of 8 pounds per month. And so if you're setting 20, that's unrealistic. But to get to that point, you're like, okay, well, I really have to, extend my runs or my workouts or whatever, my walking, whatever your workout is. You'll push harder towards that, and say at the end of the month you lose 10 pounds, half of your goal. The key is not to get discouraged that you didn't hit 20 pounds, but to be overjoyed or enlightened, to be delighted by the fact that you lost 10 pounds. And if you compare it to what's realistic, which would be 8 pounds, you've actually done better than what is realistically possible. And that's just simply setting goals that are out of your reach, because you'll end up getting to that point where you break through these plateaus and you'll look back and you're like, whoa, I can't believe I actually did that. And it really builds your self-confidence as well. So for me personally, I've wanted to do a one-arm chin-up for a long time, and I never really thought it was possible just because it's usually kind of skinny, shorter guys that do those because the ratio of the weight to their arm is a lot better. So if I got really heavy legs that are really thick, so the odds of me doing a one-arm chin-up are just not as good. I'm not the tallest guy. I'm about 5'11 and a half. I'm almost 6 foot, but still, usually these guys that are 5'5", that are doing one-arm chin-ups, that kind of stuff. So I set that goal a year ago, and I was just slowly working towards it. And then after my hip labrum tear and all this, and I started doing this journey, I was like, no, let's really push towards that. Even though it seems unrealistic, let's just do it. And so I put together some steps of, okay, how would I do that? Okay, I need to load up way more weight on my body. So then when I take off that weight and I distribute it to one arm to do that one arm pull-up, that it actually makes sense. So if I do chin-ups with 125 pounds extra, which is a whole bunch of plates, 3 or 4 plates. Then when you take that off, it's like, okay, now you're actually, if you get comfortable doing that, then you're a lot closer to doing that with one arm. And there's also, what I've learned, there's actually different stabilizers that are really unique just for doing one arm chin-up and all that stuff. But I got to the point one day where I was using the band. If you've ever seen, you have one of those bands that you can hold on to. Often people, when they're learning to do chin-ups, you can put your foot in there and use that to take off some of the weight. And I was doing chin-ups, and then the higher up on that band you have, the closer it is to the bar, so you're doing 2 hands. And as you get lower down that bar, it gets harder and harder and harder, and it takes way more force off your arm and puts it on your one that's on the bar. So I noticed one day, it was about a month and a half ago, where I was on the band, and I did a chin-up, and it was super easy. So I went halfway down. It was still super easy. I went to the bottom, and I was doing it no problem. And I was like, geez, I think it's time to try one with no band. And I took it off, and boom, I just flew right up there. And I was in absolute shock because it's it went from nowhere to suddenly I can do one. And now, fast forward today, so about a month later or so, in the gym the other day, I can do 4 now with one arm. My left arm is very, very close. I'm at the bottom of the band to doing 1, so that's obviously an imbalance here. Trying to fix that, but so you set goals like that. It's just it feels so good when you achieve something like that. Especially I like setting these physical gym goals that most other people can't do. I don't see anyone doing those. I don't see anyone doing muscle ups in my gym and stuff like that. And that's just kind of what really drives me. I like being unique and being off, on the far side over here. But whatever it is for you, maybe it's you didn't think you could walk 10 kilometers per day, and you suddenly do that, and then now you're walking 12 or 15, and that's like your daily workout. You put your podcast on and you go walk for a couple hours, and you come back, and that's your weight loss plan. Whatever it is that works for you, you just need to really push the envelope and really tackle it, and then you'll find it just really changes your life. So hopefully these tips, my example here, inspires you to push the limits of what you're currently doing. And yeah, subscribe and all that good stuff. And until next one, have a great day.